All right, get this. Rotten Tomatoes 25 most popular shows, ready to dive in.
Oh, we are in for a treat. Audience tastes, critical darlings, the whole shebang. We might even spot some trends, see where TV's headed next.
And Teacup. What even I asked that? Color me intrigued. Let's break it down, see what's got everyone talking.
You know, it's easy to get lost in the titles, but Rotten Tomatoes isn't just about critical acclaim. The adjusted score, that's where the real story is.
Okay, break that down for me, because I feel like a show can be huge GE with viewers, even if the critics hate it.
Right, 100%. Think of the tomatometer as like that strict professor who expects perfection. The adjusted score. That's out in the wild, measuring buzz, how many people are actually watching.
So a show can bomb with critics, but still be a fan favorite.
Exactly. Look at Citadel. 51% on the tomatometer. Big marketing push, but mixed reviews. But their adjusted score, 588.57. Clearly people loved it.
Proof that word of mouth, a good marketing blitz, that's powerful stuff. But big picture for a sec, what genres are we seeing dominate this top 25? Anything unexpected?
It's a real mix, which is great for viewers, of course. But one thing that pops up, crime dramas, still on top. The Penguin, Slow Horses, even Yellow Jackets with its thriller side. Guess people crave a little darkness with their TV time.
Who doesn't love a good crime drama? Keeps you guessing. But besides detectives and intrigue, what else is grabbing attention?
Well, that's where Teacup comes in, holding its own in the top 10. And for a horror series, that's saying something. You'd think horror is niche, but clearly there's a hunger for a good scare out there.
Okay, now I have to know more. And it's not just horror. Nobody wants this. A rom-com sounds hilarious. Then there's sweet pea revenge thriller, Anyone, and high potential with the amazing Caitlin Olsen. Talk about a TV buffet.
Speaking of buffets, The Penguin is clearing the table. 94% on the tomatometer, highest adjusted score on the entire list. It's a full-blown phenomenon.
Yeah.
And think about it, it's not even a standalone series.
Right, it's a spin-off, a prequel to The Batman, and that's what gets me. Audiences can't get enough of that world. A show like this, almost guaranteed to be a hit.
It's more than a familiar name, though. A well-done prequel, a spin-off. It taps into something deeper. You're back in a world you love, but seeing it fresh, and that clearly works.
Makes you wonder what other corners of these universes are just waiting, what other characters deserve their moment.
And it's not always about capes and explosions, right? Sometimes it's the quiet ones, the slow burns that really draw you in.
Slow horses. Talk about a slow burn.
Season 4, Sitting Pretty, with a perfect 100% on the tomatometer.
That's wild. It really hooks you, though, doesn't it? What is it about a show like that that keeps people coming back for more?
You said it, the hook. Slow Horses, it balances that intrigue, the spy stuff, with this really sharp wit. You're there for the mystery, but you stay for the dialogue, the characters, and Gary Oldman, come on.
Right. The man's a legend.
Exactly. But you're right, it's more than just star power. It's the whole package. The writing, the vibe. You feel like you're watching something special.
And speaking of special, can't forget fantasy, right? Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 2, and still going strong.
It's interesting, isn't it? The lasting appeal of these big fantasy epics, these worlds that are so different from ours. It's an escape. And when you're talking pre-existing IP, something like Lord of the Rings, well, that's tapping into something powerful. Nostalgia, passion, people have a real connection to that.
No kidding. Those books, the movies. But I've got to say, I've heard some grumbling. Die-hard Lord of the Rings fans, they're not all on board with Rings of Power.
Well, that's where the adjusted score comes in again. Reminds us that critics and audiences, they don't always agree. The Rings of Power, it might not have been what everyone wanted, but it's clearly working for enough people to keep it high on the list.
Shows you, appealing to a wide audience is tough. Gotta stay true to the source material, but also keep things fresh. Not easy. And speaking of a mixed bag, the Rotten Tomatoes thing, it wasn't just TV, right? They had those other lists, horror sequels, new action movies. Makes you wonder, beyond TV, what are people craving?
I think it speaks to something basic, you know? The desire for a certain kind of thrill, horror, action, they hit differently, a visceral thing, pure escape, even just for a couple of hours.
Sometimes you just need a good jump scare, right? Or an epic car chase.
Oh.
But even within those genres, the variety on this list, it's pretty amazing. We've got the darkness of the penguin, the slow burn of slow horses, even epic fantasy thrown in there, and of course, Teacup, whatever that is.
This is what I love, though, right? The variety, something for everyone, every mood. It really feels like a golden age for TV, don't you think?
Totally. And it makes you think this list, it's more than just what's popular. It's a snapshot of what's really hitting home with people. What stories are sticking with us.
Oh, for sure. And not just the stories, but the way they're told. Viewers care about quality, whether it's sharp writing like Slow Horses, the visuals of Rings of Power, even the guts it took to bring something like Teacup to the mainstream.
People
And
notice that makes you appreciate the people behind it all, right? The creators. Speaking of which, any hints about Teacup in all this? Because now I'm dying to know.
You know, sometimes the best discoveries, you got to make them yourself. I say, brew yourself something nice, settle in, hit play on Teacup, see what you find.
Not a bad idea. And there you have it. From gritty crime dramas to fantasy epics, a whole lot of TV landscape covered.
Wow.
Proof that whether it's a slow burn or a quick thrill, there's something out there for everyone. Until next time, happy watching.